There are 2 lithium boat batteries on Amazon right now that are the same battery in 2 different costumes. Same box shape, same 100 amp hour sticker, same little Bluetooth logo in the corner. One of them is $200, one of them is $900. And the difference between them is not the thing the listing page is arguing about. It is not the cycle number. It is not the app. There is one brand on that shelf that quietly told on itself, that published the one fact every other seller buries. And when I show you that name near the end of this video, it is going to change how you read every listing on Amazon forever. So, keep it in the back of your mind. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what is physically inside a $200 pack versus a $900 pack, according to people who cut them open and publish the pictures. You will know the 2 words in a listing that mean the battery was never certified at all. You will know why a cheap lithium battery can destroy an alternator that has run fine for 15 years. And you will know which brands are actually worth your money, named with prices. But before any of that, look at the boat under your own feet for a second, because the money in this is not the battery. Nobody selling you a lithium battery says this out loud. The $200 battery is not the expense. The alternator it cooks is. The adjuster who finds a non-compliant install after a fire is. That is the hole the bilge files plugs. 6 guides, $47, one time, including the Marine Electronics Survival Guide. Nobody pays this channel. No sponsors, no dealer deals, no affiliate links. That is why it can name names. Hullhonest.com, link below. Back to that shelf. Part 1. The wall. You open the app and you search lithium boat battery. What comes back is 40 names you have never heard of. Chins, Redodo, Vatrer, WattCycle, LiTime. Names that sound machine generated because several of them were. They all have 4.6 stars. They all have a black box on a white background with a lightning bolt. That feeling of choice is the product. That feeling is the trick. You are not choosing between 40 companies. You are choosing between 40 listings drawn from a much shorter list of factories. Part 2. The ownership map. Here is why this happened all at once. Bloomberg NEF runs an annual battery price survey, and their numbers are the cleanest receipt in this whole story. Volume-weighted lithium-ion pack prices went from $151 per kilowatt-hour in 2022 to $139 in 2023 to $115 in 2024 to $108 in 2025. That is a record low. Lithium iron phosphate packs specifically averaged $81 per kilowatt-hour. Lithium carbonate itself went from roughly 600,000 Chinese yuan per ton at the end of 2022 to roughly 30,000 by the middle of 2025. When the cell gets that cheap, anybody with a shipping account becomes a battery brand. So the names churn. Ampere Time became LiTime. Roy Pow became Power Urus. Dragonfly Energy, the American company behind Battleborn, openly sells white-label pack manufacturing on its own website, which means somewhere out there are packs built to the same process wearing somebody else's badge. The owners here are not boaters. They are spreadsheets with a storefront. That brings us to the part you actually came for. Part 3. The factory receipts. The most documented teardown source in this space is Will Prowse, who runs DIY Solar Power and has over 1 million subscribers. He cuts these open and publishes what he finds. On a $600 server rack pack, he found a correct 16-cell layout and a proper breaker, and every cell inside sitting crooked with a bent busbar. In January of 2026, he tested a 314 amp-hour pack that delivered 245 amp-hours. That is not a rounding error. That is 69 amp-hours you paid for and never see. The second receipt is a published teardown of a HumSync 100 amp-hour battery on the DIY Solar Forum. And it is the cleanest single document in this entire investigation. The BMS was rated 100 amps continuous. The teardown found it dissipating around 6.5 watts at 100 amps and warned it may overheat above 75 amps, sustained for 15 minutes or more in warm conditions. The internal terminal wiring was 2 runs of 8 gauge. The overcurrent protection shipped set to 300 amps by default, and the discharge over temperature cutoff was set at 65 degrees Celsius on cells whose own datasheet says 60 is the maximum. Read that one twice. The safety device was configured past the safe limit of the thing it was protecting. Third receipt, and this one is from the marine side specifically. Rod Collins, who writes Marine How-To and has spent decades doing capacity testing on boats, documents drop-in packs that arrive without the low-temperature charge protection the listing claims. His point should scare you. These manufacturers know the battery is going to a reviewer, and it still arrives missing the feature. He also documented a pack whose BMS could not balance its cells. 2 cells sat above 3.65 volts in the danger zone, while the pack terminal read a perfectly normal 14.2. The manufacturer refused to release the BMS passcode. Now here is the objection, and it is the smart one, so let me say it in your voice before you type it. Same factory does not have to mean the same product, and the cheap one might just be a fine battery with less marketing. And you would be completely right to push on that. So let me give you the answer that costs me the story. In independent testing, budget packs very often hit their rated capacity. A WattCycle 100 amp hour tested at roughly 100.5. A Chin's owner measured about 105. A Vatrer pack under $300 came in about 5% over rating. Capacity is usually not where they cheat. They cheat on the busbars, the wire gauge, the BMS current rating, the low temperature cutoff, and the company being alive in 4 years. The energy is real. The engineering around it is the gamble. I will be straight with you about one more thing, because the sharp guys in the comments always are. I went looking for a Consumer Product Safety Commission recall on a drop-in lithium iron phosphate house battery for a boat or an RV. I could not find one. Recalls exist for power banks, e-bike packs, a utility vehicle, not house batteries. If somebody tells you these things are recalled constantly, that is not documented. What is documented is the construction. Part 4. Read past the badge. Start by throwing out the number printed biggest. Cycle life. LiTime markets 15,000 cycles. That figure is at 60% depth of discharge. The same battery from the same company is rated 4,000 cycles at 100% depth of discharge. Neither number is a lie. The listing just picked the flattering one. The warranty tells you what the company actually believes. Epoch's Eco Series markets 4,500 plus cycles and backs it with a 6-year pro-rated warranty, full coverage for years 1 through 3. Then a discount on a replacement after that. Cycle that daily, and the warranty expires long before those cycles could accrue. Now the 3 specs that actually matter. 1. The BMS continuous amp rating, in writing, with a temperature it holds it at, not peak. Peak is meaningless. 2. Low temperature charge cutoff, stated as a temperature, not as a marketing word like protected. 3. Weight. A real 100 amp hour 12 volt lithium iron phosphate pack lands somewhere around 21 to 31 pounds. LiTime publishes 24.25. Battleborn is around 31. Far outside that band in either direction, and something inside is not what the label says. And the 2 words that end the argument. UL certified cells. That phrase means the cell may have been tested, and the assembled battery, the BMS, the wiring, the busbars, the case, was never certified as a pack at all. UL listed means the finished product was tested. UL recognized component means a part was approved for a factory to build into something else under restricted conditions. Compliant with, or tested to, is a sentence the seller wrote about itself. You can check any real listing in UL's own Product 1Q database with a file number. If they will not give you a file number, there is no file. I tear this industry apart exactly like this every week, and the list of things they hope you never find out does not get shorter. Subscribe and come along for it. Part 5. The thing the listing page never mentions. Drop in. That word is the entire scam, and it has nothing to do with the battery being cheap. Lithium iron phosphate has very low internal resistance and a very flat voltage curve. Translation, it will take everything you give it and keep asking. Your engine alternator was designed to top up one start battery, then loaf. Marine engines commonly ship with 50 to 65 amp internally regulated alternators, and you should expect around 80 to 85% of that rating in a hot engine bay. Hook that to a lithium bank, and the regulator pins the field at full output and holds it there. There is no coasting. The stator cooks. This is documented, not theoretical. There is a published account of a Thor motorhome on a Mercedes chassis that destroyed multiple alternators charging lithium without current limiting, one of them lasting only minutes. And here is the second half, which is the part I want you to actually remember. When the BMS decides it is done and opens the circuit, the alternator is still spinning at full field with nowhere to send its output. That is called a load dump. Field collapse can take up to 400 milliseconds, and transients in that window can reach 60 to 80 volts. In that same account, the spike killed a $1,200 radio. So, no, it is not a drop-in. A real installation needs current limiting, which means either a DC to DC charger like the Victron Orion XS, or an external regulator with temperature sensing and an alternator protection mode. A WakeSpeed WS500 Pro lists at $748.95. Balmar and Arco build the same category. It also needs every charge source reprogrammed off the lead-acid profile, correct fusing, and correct cable sizing. That is the honest cost. The battery is the cheap part. And while we are being honest, let me kill a myth this audience repeats constantly. Lithium boat batteries are not the batteries in the airline fire headlines. Those are nickel-manganese cobalt chemistry. Lithium iron phosphate does not release free oxygen in thermal runaway and stays stable to roughly 270 degrees Celsius, against decomposition onset around 150 for the other chemistry. Rod Collins calls it water versus gasoline. The risk in your cheap pack is the wiring, not the chemistry. Part 6. The verdict buckets. Bucket 1. Overpriced for what is inside. Any listing under roughly $1.50 per amp hour with no published BMS continuous rating, no stated low temperature cutoff figure. The phrase UL certified cells, and a brand name you cannot trace to a company with a US address. That is the bucket where a warranty is a screenshot. Bucket 2. Honest value. WattCycle, Chins, LiTime, Vatrer, Redodo, Epoch Eco, SOK. These have been independently tested, they usually hit capacity, and several have a verified working low temperature cutoff. A WattCycle 100 amp hour reviewed at around $230 with the cutoff confirmed. LiTime sits around $220 to $249. Bucket 3. Genuinely worth it, and only for a specific person. Battleborn, Victron, Lithium X, Mastervolt, RELiON, and the Epoch Elite line. Battleborn runs about $808 at Walmart against a list around $925 at roughly £31 with a 10-year warranty. What that money buys is not more electricity. It is documented certification, alarm before disconnect behavior, integration with your charging system, and a company that will pick up the phone in year 7. And here is where the curve flattens. Below Bucket 2, you are gambling on construction and on the company existing. Above Bucket 3, you are buying refinement, not survival. If your boat is insured, kept in a marina, and charged off an engine, the compliance is the product, and you should pay for it. If it is a small skiff with a solar panel and a trolling motor, Bucket 2 is not a compromise. It is the correct answer. Drop a comment and tell me what is on your boat right now and what you paid per amp hour, because I want to see where this audience actually sits. Part 7. The exception. Now the name I planted at the start. Epoch. Not because it is the best battery on the list, and not because it is the cheapest. Because it is the only one that told you where it comes from. Epoch packs are built by Roy Pow, which is a division of Eve, one of the largest cell manufacturers on Earth. That is the single fact every other listing on that page is engineered to hide, and Epoch just says it. And it shows. Rod Collins documented an Epoch BMS holding 120 amps for 20 minutes while its temperature moved 3 degrees. Compare that to the Hum Sync board at 75. But Epoch is not a saint, and here is the line that matters. That 6-year pro-rated warranty against a 4,500 cycle claim is still a warranty that expires before the promise does. Transparency about the factory is not the same as standing behind the box. Take the disclosure. Do not take the cycle count. Part 8. The protocol. Here is what you actually do, and none of it costs money except a scale. 1. Before you buy, weigh check. Find the published weight. If a 100 amp hour pack is claimed at 14 pounds, walk. 2. demand 3 numbers in writing: BMS continuous amps, low temperature charge cutoff in degrees, and a certification file number. No file number, no sale. 3. Bench test it on arrival. Charge it full, discharge it through a load with a shunt meter, and see what actually comes out before it goes in the boat. 4. Leave it in a cold garage overnight and try to charge it. If current flows below freezing, the cutoff you paid for does not exist. 5. Before it touches your engine, either fit a DC to DC charger or an external regulator with alternator temperature sensing. 6. Reprogram every charge source you own off the lead-acid profile. 7. Fuse it properly at the battery, because ABYC E13 exists whether you have read it or not. On that standard, one last receipt. ABYC E13 covers lithium systems of 600 watt-hours or more, which is about 50 amp-hours at 12 volts, so it covers you. It requires a BMS protecting against overcharge, over-discharge, and over-temperature, recommends an alarm before disconnect, and calls for cells certified to a recognized construction standard. It took effect for systems installed after July 31st of 2023. It is voluntary in law and not voluntary in practice, because your insurer and your surveyor read it. One broker in the trade press said plainly that some insurers will not accept the risk at all, and per an analysis published by the NMMA, boats built to ABYC standards are between 43 and 47% less likely to be involved in certain accidents. That standard is not paperwork. It is the accumulated list of ways people got hurt. The next time you open that app and see 40 black boxes with 4.6 stars, you are not going to see 40 brands anymore. You are going to see one question. Who will tell me the continuous amp rating, the cutoff temperature, and the file number? Most of that page cannot answer one of them. You never overpaid because you were careless. You overpaid because an entire product category was rebuilt around a listing photo, and nobody was ever going to hand you the screwdriver. Now you are the one holding it. YouTube thinks you will like this video, so click it. And if you made it all the way to the end, subscribe, because the next one is exactly like this.